The Premier Mine is an underground diamond mine owned by Petra Diamonds in the town of Cullinan, 40 kilometers east of Pretoria, Gauteng Province, South Africa. Established in 1902, it was renamed the Cullinan Diamond Mine in November 2003 in celebration of its centenary. The mine is a carrot-shaped volcanic pipe and has a surface area of 32 hectares. The mine rose to prominence in 1905, when the Cullinan diamond, the largest rough diamond of gem quality ever found, was discovered there. The mine has produced over 750 stones that are greater than 100 carats and more than a quarter of all the world's diamonds that are greater than 400 carats. It is also the only significant source of blue diamonds in the world. Discovery and early history. The Cullinan is estimated to have formed in Earth's mantle transition zone at a depth of 410,660 km and reached the surface 1.18 billion years ago. It was found 5.5 meters below the surface at Premier Mine in Cullinan, Transvaal Colony, by Frederick Wells, surface manager at the mine, on January 26, 1905. It was approximately 10.1 centimeters long, 6.35 centimeters wide, 5.9 centimeters deep, and weighed 3,106 carats. Newspapers called it the Cullinan Diamond, a reference to Sir Thomas Cullinan, who opened the mine in 1902. It was 3 times the size of the Excelsior Diamond, found in 1893 at Jagersfontein Mine, weighing 972 carats. 4 of its 8 surfaces were smooth, indicating that it once had been part of a much larger stone broken up by natural forces. It had a blue-white hue and contained a small pocket of air, which at certain angles produced a rainbow, or Newton's rings. Shortly after its discovery, Cullinan went on public display at the Standard Bank in Johannesburg, where it was seen by an estimated 8,0009,000 visitors. In April 1905, the rough gem was deposited with Premier Mining Co.'s London sales agent, S. Newman & Co. Due to its immense value, detectives were assigned to a steamboat that was rumoured to be carrying the stone, and a parcel was ceremoniously locked in the captain's safe and guarded on the entire journey. It was a diversionary tactic. The stone on that ship was fake, meant to attract those who would be interested in stealing it. Cullinan was sent to the United Kingdom in a plain box via registered post. On arriving in London, it was conveyed to Buckingham Palace for inspection by King Edward VII. Although it drew considerable interest from potential buyers, Cullinan went unsold for 2 years. Presentation to Edward VII. Transvaal Prime Minister, Louis Botha, suggested buying the diamond for Edward VII as a token of the loyalty and attachment of the people of the Transvaal to His Majesty's throne and person. In August 1907, a vote was held in the Legislative Council on the Cullinan's fate, and a motion authorising the purchase was carried by 42 votes in favour to 19 against. Initially, Henry Campbell Bannerman, then British Prime Minister, advised the King to decline the offer, but he later decided to let Edward VII choose whether or not to accept the gift. Eventually, he was persuaded by Winston Churchill, then Colonial Under-Secretary. For his trouble, Churchill was sent a replica, which he enjoyed showing off to guests on a silver plate. The Transvaal colony government bought the diamond on October 17, 1907 for £150,000, which adjusted for pound sterling inflation is equivalent to £16 million in 2019. Due to a 60% tax on mining profits, the Treasury received some of its money back from the Premier Diamond Mining Company. The diamond was presented to the King at Sandringham House by Agent General of the colony, Sir Richard Solomon, on November 9, 1907, his 66th birthday, in the presence of a large party of guests, including the Queen of Sweden, the Queen of Spain, the Duke of Westminster and Lord Revelstoke. The King asked his colonial secretary, Lord Elgin, to announce that he accepted the gift for myself and my successors and that he would ensure this great and unique diamond be kept and preserved among the historic jewels which form the heirlooms of the crown. Cutting process. The king chose Joseph Astor & Co. of Amsterdam to cleave and polish the rough stone into brilliant gems of various cuts and sizes. Abraham Astor collected it from the Colonial Office in London on January 23, 1908. He returned to the Netherlands by train and ferry with the diamond in his coat pocket. Meanwhile, to much fanfare, a Royal Navy ship carried an empty box across the North Sea, again throwing off potential thieves. Even the captain had no idea that his precious cargo was a decoy. On February 10, 1908, the rough stone was split in half by Joseph Astor at his diamond-cutting factory in Amsterdam. At the time, technology had not yet evolved to guarantee the quality of modern standards, and cutting the diamond was difficult and risky. After weeks of planning, an incision 0.5 inches deep was made to enable Astor to cleave the diamond in one blow. Making the incision alone took 4 days, and a steel knife broke on the first attempt, but a second knife was fitted into the groove and split it clean in two along one of 4 possible cleavage planes. In all, splitting and cutting the diamond took 8 months, with 3 people working 14 hours per day to complete the task. The tale is told of Joseph Astor, the greatest cleaver of the day, wrote Matthew Hart in his book Diamond, A Journey to the Heart of an Obsession, that when he prepared to cleave the largest diamond ever known, he had a doctor and nurse standing by, and when he finally struck the diamond, he fainted dead away. Lord Ian Balfour, in his book Famous Diamonds, dispels the fainting story, suggesting it was more likely Joseph would have celebrated, opening a bottle of champagne. When Joseph's nephew Louis heard the story, he exclaimed no Astor would ever faint over any operation on any diamond. Diamonds cut from the Cullinan. Cullinan produced 9 major stones of 1055.89 carats in total, plus 96 minor brilliants and some unpolished fragments weighing 19.5 carats. All but the 2 largest stones Cullinan's I and II remained in Amsterdam by arrangement as the fee for Astor's services, until the South African government bought them, and the High Commissioner for Southern Africa presented them to Queen Mary on June 28, 1910. Mary also inherited Cullinan 6 from Alexandra, and she left all her Cullinan diamonds to her granddaughter Elizabeth II in 1953. Cullinan's I and II are part of the crown jewels, which belong to the king in right of the crown. Astor sold the minor stones to the South African government, which distributed them to Queen Mary, Louis Botha, then Prime Minister of South Africa, the diamond merchants Arthur and Alexander Levy, who supervised the cutting of Cullinan, and Jacob Romaine, who founded the first trade union in the diamond industry. Some were set by Mary into a long platinum chain, which Elizabeth never wore in public, saying that it gets in the soup. In the 1960s, 2 minor Cullinan diamonds owned by Louis Botha's heirs were analyzed at the De Beers laboratory in Johannesburg and found to be completely free of nitrogen or any other impurities. Cullinan's I and II were examined in the 1980s by gemologists at the Tower of London and both graded as colourless type IIA. Cullinan I. Cullinan I, or the Great Star of Africa, is a pendeliki cut brilliant weighing 530.2 carats and has 74 facets. It is set at the top of the sovereign's sceptre with cross, which had to be redesigned in 1910 to accommodate it. Cullinan I was surpassed as the world's largest cut diamond of any color by the 545.67 carat brown golden Jubilee diamond in 1992, but is still the largest clear-cut diamond in the world. In terms of clarity, it has a few tiny cleavages and a small patch of graining. The 5.89 cm x 4.54 cm x 2.77 cm diamond is fitted with loops and can be taken out of its setting to be worn as a pendant suspended from Cullinan II to make a brooch. Queen Mary, wife of George V, often wore it like this. In 1908, the stone was valued at $2.5 million, 2.5 times the rough Cullinan's estimated value. Cullinan II. Cullinan II, or the second star of Africa, is a cushion-cut brilliant with 66 facets weighing 317.4 carats set in the front of the imperial state crown, below the Black Prince's ruby. It measures 4.54 centimeters times 4.08 centimeters times 2.42 centimeters. The diamond has a number of tiny flaws, scratches on the table facet, and a small chip at the girdle. Like Cullinan I, it is held in place by a yellow gold enclosure, which is screwed onto the crown. Cullinan III. Cullinan III, or the Lesser Star of Africa, is pear-cut and weighs 94.4 carats. In 1911, Queen Mary, wife and queen consort of George V, had it set in the top cross patty of a crown that she personally bought for her coronation. In 1912, the Delhi Durbar tiara, worn the previous year by Mary instead of a crown at the Delhi Durbar, where her husband wore the imperial crown of India, was also adapted to take Cullinan's 3 and 4. In 1914, Cullinan III was permanently replaced on the crown by a crystal model. Elizabeth II frequently wore Cullinan III in combination with Cullinan IV as a brooch. In total, the brooch is 6.5 centimeters long and 2.4 centimeters wide. Cullinan III has also been used as a pendant on the coronation necklace, where it occasionally replaced the 22.4 carat Lahore diamond. Cullinan IV. Cullinan IV, also referred to as a Lesser Star of Africa, is square-cut and weighs 63.6 carats. It was also set in the base of Queen Mary's crown but was removed in 1914. On March 25, 1958, while she and Prince Philip were on a state visit to the Netherlands, Queen Elizabeth II revealed that Cullinan III and IV are known in her family as Granny's chips. They visited the Astor Diamond Company, where Cullinan had been cut 50 years earlier. It was the first time the Queen had worn the brooch publicly. During her visit, she unpinned the brooch and offered it for examination to Louis Astor, nephew of Joseph Astor, who split the rough diamond. Aged 84, he was deeply moved that the Queen had brought the diamonds with her, knowing how much it would mean to him seeing them again after so many years. Cullinan V. Cullinan V is an 18.8 carat heart-shaped diamond set in the center of a platinum brooch that formed a part of the stomacher made for Queen Mary to wear at the Delhi Durbar in 1911. The brooch was designed to show off Cullinan V and is pave set with a border of smaller diamonds. It can be suspended from the 8 brooch and can be used to suspend the 7 pendant. It was often worn like this by Mary. Cullinan VI. Cullinan VI is Marquise cut and weighs 11.5 carats. It hangs from the brooch containing Cullinan VIII and forming part of the stomacher of the Delhi Durbar parure. Cullinan VI along with 8 can also be fitted together to make yet another brooch, surrounded by some 96 smaller diamonds. The design was created around the same time that the Cullinan V heart-shaped brooch was designed, both having a similar shape. Cullinan VII. Cullinan VII is also Marquise cut and weighs 8.8 carats. It was originally given by Edward VII to his wife and consort Queen Alexandra. After his death she gave the jewel to Queen Mary, who had it set as a pendant hanging from the diamond and emerald Delhi Durbar necklace, part of the parure. Cullinan VIII. Cullinan VIII is an oblong-cut diamond weighing 6.8 carats. It is set in the center of a brooch forming part of the stomacher of the Delhi Durbar parure. Together with Cullinan VI it forms a brooch. Cullinan IX. Cullinan IX is smallest of the principal diamonds to be obtained from the rough Cullinan. It is a pendelichy or stepped pear-cut stone, weighs 4.39 carats, and is set in a platinum ring known as the Cullinan IX ring. See also: List of diamonds. List of largest rough diamonds. Elizabeth II's jewels.